It's really quite remarkable. Two of the largest consumer organizations in the country, Consumers Union, which is the advocacy arm of Consumer Reports, and the Consumer Federation of America, have come out against the TPP. There is a, everybody thinks, Mitch McConnell said he's not going to bring the TPP up after the, after the elections, after November 8th in the lame duck session. Don't trust Mitch McConnell. Just because he says something doesn't make it true. Doesn't even make it remotely true. Mitch McConnell has a long history of saying things that don't turn out to be true. And the specific concern of these consumer protection groups is that the TPP, well, I'll quote them from their press release. They said the TPP includes provisions not found in past trade pacts that allow international food shippers to challenge food safety inspection procedures at the border. In other words, you got a million pounds of shrimp coming in from the waste ponds of Vietnam, and they get stopped at the border at the port of whatever, whether it's Seattle or Los Angeles or whatever. And our food inspectors show up and say, we're here to inspect this stuff to see if it's filled with poison and pesticides and antibiotics and human waste and whatnot. And the shippers can say, no, you can't do that. That's a violation of the TPP. Sorry. Back to the press release. Other TPP provisions could enable pharmaceutical companies to challenge Medicare drug listing decisions and Medicaid reimbursements, as well as to constrain future U.S. policy reforms aimed at reducing healthcare costs. So right now, we're the village idiots, right, with regard to international trade and with regard to pharmaceuticals and our entire healthcare system. It is all largely designed and run to work to the benefit of the big transnational corporations that manufacture pharmaceuticals. Big rip-off companies like Rick Scott used to run in Florida that was convicted of the largest Medicare fraud in the history of America. This is our system, right? The American system is a giant grift, it seems, increasingly. And the TPP is going to make it worse. The TPP is going to allow these transnational companies, most of the drugs sold in the United States are not manufactured by pharmaceutical companies that are actually American companies. Bayer is a German company. Merck is a Swiss company, as I recall. I mean, you can go through the list. It's like, and most of the pharmaceuticals sold in the United States are not even manufactured here. We're principally manufacturing them now in India and China. So, they're manufacturing cheap stuff and they're selling it to us at absurdly high prices. You've got a law that was passed by a Republican Congress in 2005, signed by George W. Bush, saying that it is against the law for the federal government to negotiate with pharmaceutical companies for prices. When Medicare buys drugs, if you're on Medicare and Medicare is paying for your drugs, they have to pay the full retail price, even though the drug that you're taking is probably taken by 1 million other people. When the VA buys 1 million doses of something, they go to the drug companies and they say, no, your retail price on this is $1 a pill, but we're going to buy 1 million of them. We'd like to buy them for 10 cents a pill. The pharmaceutical companies go, oh, well, we can make money at 10 cents a pill. Okay. So they negotiate the price. Medicare can't do that. EpiPen, $600. Okay, no problem. We can't negotiate. Oh, you raised the price to $900? Sorry, we can't negotiate. Okay, here's your $900. And under the TPP, if we did away with this law and said the government can negotiate these prices, or Medicare can change, what they're willing to pay for drugs, or Medicaid for that matter, or we're going to change the formularies, the list of drugs and what they do and how they're paid for and all that could be a violation of free trade. That could hurt the profits of the transnational pharmaceutical companies who are playing us for the village idiots to begin with. It's insane. ConsumersUnion.org, if you go over to their website, you can find a letter that they're suggesting that you send to your member of the House of Representatives and to your 2 senators, assuming you don't live in D.C. and you actually have representation with taxation. And this is constrain future U.S. policy reforms aimed at reducing healthcare costs. You know, I get it. This is a think tank, and they're talking in wonkies. But really what it says is the drug companies can still rip you off. In fact, the drug companies will be able to rip you off even worse, even more. Get used to it. Get ready. It's coming. The giant pharmaceutical ripoff is on its way. Well, actually, it's been here all this time, at least since the 1980s. And now it's, you know, they want to get it worse. They want to make it worse with TPP. It's just remarkable. It is just remarkable. So please let your member of the House and the Senate, particularly if it's a Republican, know that you oppose the TPP.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
Because as much as these Republicans are saying, oh, we're not going to bring this up during the lame duck session, they're going to bring it up during the lame duck session. We got to stop.